Waka, welcome back to another video. I wanted to do a preview for the upcoming weekend. Also wanted to talk about some of the hot topics when it comes to Arsenal after the last couple of matches. Also, the women are in an important phase of their season, so I want to talk about that as well. And yeah, let's start off with probably the biggest surprise for us. Man City beating Burnley 1-0. I really expected this one to be a thrashing from Man City and them having the advantage when it comes to goal difference. But as it stands, we're both on the same amount of points, the same goal difference. They have scored three more and conceded three more than us. But the title, yeah, it is possible for us, but I'm gonna say it's probably 70% when it comes to Man City winning it and maybe 30% us. I don't think the odds are better than that for us at the moment. But yeah, they did win their game in hand, as you can say. It wasn't officially the game that they had in hand because that's the one against Crystal Palace, which hasn't been scheduled in yet. But yeah, after a month, at least that's one thing that went our way somewhat. We wanted them to drop points. They would never drop points against Burnley. And just beating them 1-0 is probably the best thing when it comes to them winning that could have happened for us. After the Man City match, there have been a lot of discussions about Kai Havertz and Victor Gyökeres. Who is the better striker? Who fits our system better? All these different things, When it comes to Kai Havertz, he gets a lot of praise for his hold-up play, for link-up play, and his pressing. But the problem is, we've had him for a couple of seasons already, and when it comes to the big chances, he never scores them. It's just really annoying that you have a player whose general play is okay to good, but his chance conversion is just horrific, especially in the big games. And now you can see that everybody is putting a lot of blame on Gyökeres for our attack and the fact that we haven't been great in attack. I mean, Gyökeres has worse aerial duel percentage, and he's not as good with his first touch, with his back towards the goal. And that's all that's all valid criticism for Gyökeres, but that's not the way he wants to play, and that's not the way he has been playing before he joined us. So at the moment, he just feels like a square peg in a round hole, and that's not why you should buy a striker to let him play like another player that in a role that doesn't suit him. Because when you look at it, if Drogba had played for the Invincibles, Drogba wouldn't have been an amazing striker because Drogba can't do what Henry did, and Arsenal would have been worse off with Drogba as a striker, even though Drogba is a good striker, but he is a great striker in Chelsea's system. And vice versa, if you put Henry as the striker for the Mourinho Chelsea, and all you do is giving him long balls and headers to win, back against the goal, link up play, he wouldn't have been the Henry that we know. So it's really annoying because when you look at Arsenal and the way Arteta wants to play the forward, Marino and Havertz are probably the best fits. But yeah, they aren't really strikers. Marino, probably I would have him over Havertz when it comes to being at the striker position because I feel like his conversion rate is better. But when it comes to that role, they fill in that role exactly the way Arteta wants them to. But Gyökeres just isn't that type of player. And it's really annoying that he was involved with getting Gyökeres to the club, but he's never changed the way we play to fit Gyökeres' style. And for me, with Gyökeres and Eze coming in, I thought maybe we were gonna play more fast-paced football, which would suit both of them. Madueke suits the faster pace. Martinelli would do better in the faster pace. Even Saka would do better. But that's not where he went. He just put Gyökeres in that position and asked of him the same thing that he asked of Havertz, and that's not fair. And the criticism now is really becoming too much because people are even claiming that Gyökeres would miss the chances Havertz missed, or he wouldn't have even been there. I had a discussion with a guy in the comment section where he, according to him, Gyökeres wouldn't have beaten Bernardo Silva in that duel, and he wouldn't have beaten Kusanov in the duel because he has to put Gyökeres down so much, even though Gyökeres would have definitely bullied Bernardo Silva off that ball. And he probably wouldn't have gone down as easy as Havertz in the Kusanov duel. But yeah, it's just really annoying to see a lot of discourse about Gyökeres, even though we haven't really given him a chance to flourish in the way that he can flourish because we don't play the balls in behind to him. He makes a lot of runs, and I've seen other channels talk about, yeah, he gets a lot of passes towards him. But when I look at it, and I haven't really looked at the official stats and whatnot, but when I think back at the passes Gyökeres receives, it's either with a defender in his back with his back towards goal, or it's in the channels on the left or the right side. But there are a lot of runs he makes in the center of the pitch, in behind, where if you give him the right pass, he can be in on goal. Because he does make the runs to the left and the right as well during certain possessions, but those runs are for him to either hold up the ball a little bit or facilitate for someone else, but it's never for him to get in a scoring position. And you can blame him for not being Harvard's or for his first touch being bad because he's nine out of 10 times it's with a defender in his back. But it's not all his fault. Yes, he can do some things better, but it has to be a balance where his, his style of play would have to fit the style of play that we ask from our striker. Because I've heard a lot of people say, yeah, Havertz makes the rest of the players better around him, but should it be the striker that makes everybody better, or should the team just be better and then the striker can flourish in that system? Because for me, it should be the latter. We should have been able to build a team at this moment where a striker isn't the focal point or it doesn't fall to to a thousand pieces because a striker isn't that right type of striker. The way Arsenal should have been built at this moment, even Jesus should be able to be the striker and we should still be able to play amazing football, have our wingers and our midfielders chipping with goals and whatnot. But the way it is now, so striker focused, and then it's another question where you're like, why did you buy Jokeres then if he doesn't fit any of the things that you want to do? So for me, it's mostly Ateta to blame for this whole discourse between should Havertz or Jokeres be on top, and less so either of the players. Having said that, let's just go into previewing this match. The press conference has been there, and we have some injury news in the today, so I'm gonna go through it with you guys. Let's pull it up. On the injuries itself, it says Bukayo Saka probably is going to be in the squad, so good news. And Calafiori and Timber, with Calafiori probably in the squad, but Timber is definitely gonna miss this one. It would be nice to have Saka and Calafiori back, but for me personally, I would keep them on the bench and maybe give them like 10, 15 minutes. But I feel like we should not rush them back and just have them rest most of the time so they can be fresher for the Atletico match and the matches after that, because we need them in the running and we can't just put them in immediately, have them get injured again, and then we have to miss them. But yeah, they are great reinforcements for if we need some extra goals or whatever, but we shouldn't have them at in the starting 11 at least. Other than that, there isn't too much of an interesting thing. Some of these questions are really BS. I mean, what type of answers do you expect from him? Asking him about Opta and all this kind of stuff, man. Why does that even matter? We just need to win the next 5 games in the Premier League. Hopefully, work on our goal difference and goals scored so that we can get the better of Man City on all those fronts. But yeah, Liam Rossini getting sick, yeah, he's always gonna say, oh yeah, it's sad to see a colleague leave a club, and especially when we are so close to the end of the season. Well, yeah, he's never gonna say, oh, Rossini was shit, so yeah, he deserves to get sacked. Supermandy, he just works Supermandy too much, man. You can talk about all these different things, but it all comes together when you look at him playing him too much. And if we'll play with a bit more freedom towards the end of the season, I don't know. Is the goal? Is the goals for goals? Oh, it's the goals for goals against. I think there's going to be a balance of that. It's been all season. That's why the goal difference between the two teams is so small. First of all, it's very clear that we have to what we have to do to win the game, to earn the right to win the game, to compete and be better than the opponent. The rest will come. Well, at least if you go 1-0 up, don't go back into your shell and just go for the jugular. That would be a nice difference. Uh, on what he will do differently this year. Every game will be different. We'll focus on the priorities and the things that we can do to help the players arrive in the best state possible with the team and make sure that we have all players available. Yeah, maybe you should rotate more in the first half of the season so that the players will be fitter at the end of this season. Other than that, yeah, nothing too interesting. Like I said, we've had Saka back and Calafiori back, and we just have to win our matches, man. It's just simple as that. Let's check out what starting lineup I would go for or kind of expect from them. This is the lineup from last week. I do expect this front. Don't think anything will really change. Maybe we will see White as the right back for this match. because I feel like they don't fear Newcastle's wingers as much as they did Doku. So I think Ben White will start this match. The center will be the same. I don't think he will start Fury because of those injuries. And I also think Saka will be on the bench. Unfortunately, I think Havertz will start. So me personally, I would start Jokeres because I would want to see Jokeres with Eze and Odegaard behind him. Because this is what I think he will start with. And for me, if I would have to get a starting lineup, I would do this. This would be my starting lineup for the upcoming match. But like I said, I think Arteta will go for the other lineup with Havertz and Madueke. White and Mosquera, it could be either or, but I think it's going to be White because we want to be a bit more attacking. Nkapie is already a good defensive back, so you would have Nkapie, Gabriel, and Saliba back to cover it. White going up to help with either Max Dauman in my case or Madueke in what I expect Ateta will go with. And then Havertz, Odegaard, and Eze will be there. That's kind of what I expect when it comes to the lineup. So we will have to see. Then the women will also be playing an important match at the weekend. But throughout this week, has been some news. We had manager and player of the month with Alessia Russo and Renee Slagers getting those awards, which is good for them. They do deserve it because they've been great. And then we had the news that Black Stanius signed a new contract. She extended her contract with the Arsenal. I'm gonna say that I was kind of surprised that she wants to stay because Alessia is is our striker most of the time. Sometimes they play together with Alessia in the 10, but she has been on the bench a lot more. And I think after Miedema left, she would have expected to be more of a feature in the starting 11. But I am glad she stayed. She scored the winning goal last season in the Champions League final. She's a great striker to have. So I'm glad she decided to stay with us even longer. But the women are playing Lyon. Last year we played Lyon as well. Also in the semifinals, we lost to them at home and then beat them away from home with some good margins. So that's how we went through to the final. So I do hope that they will be better in the first leg this time than they were last season. Hopefully, we can beat them 1-2-0, but at least don't lose to Lyon. Lyon has been. I don't think they've been better than last season. They've been weakened throughout the years because they were really the top dogs at one point, but they haven't been as dominant as they were. So hopefully, with the way we've been playing in the Champions League, the women can just step up, beat Lyon at home, and then finish it off away from home. We also had the news that that Sinsberger is going to leave at the end of the season. I don't think anyone was surprised by that. Van Domselaar came in and was in front of her when it comes to the goalies. We've had two more goalies join, and I think they are in front of her too, especially Borber. So it's not a surprise that she's gonna leave, but she has been a great goalie for us before, and yeah, hope for the best for her after leaving Arsenal. Yeah, to end this video, let's just hope that we will have a great weekend as Gooners, that the men beat Newcastle convincingly because we need that goals and we need clean sheet. The women, hopefully they can get a good result in the first semi-final leg. Hopefully a great win. I'll be watching both these matches and be really hopeful. I do have more confidence in the women because they've been showing it off more than the men. The men have been horrible since the 22nd of March, losing that League Cup final, losing the FA Cup against Southampton, and then in the Premier League losing multiple matches. The performances haven't been great. The only kind of positive performance was against Man City, and even that match we lost. So let's just hope that we can end this season off in a great way, starting off with this weekend. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.